Hey y'all, and welcome to part 4 of the large TBR bookshelf shuffle series. I've been wanting to film this next part for a long time, but I wasn't exactly sure where to start. And full transparency, I was a little hesitant because I think I had set a lot of goals or boundaries for myself in the previous video, and some of them I completely forgot about, especially surrounding book buying and ordering books online that were not pre-orders, just like randomly shopping online for books. I don't know when, but at some point I totally forgot about that. I didn't intentionally throw it out the window. I genuinely forgot that I had set that goal for myself, and it clearly didn't last very long because I've been ordering books online whenever the desire strikes me, or like, for example, I finished Guard in the Garden, immediately ordered Wagons and Wyverns. I was like, I need to have that. I need the second book. So things like that made me a little bit hesitant because I've noticed these hypocrisies in myself from the last video, especially. And I was like, oh God, that's going to be uncomfortable to talk about. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm not a perfect person. I will endeavor to do better. And if I set these goals for myself, maybe write them down somewhere to remember. But that's one thing kind of out of the way, is ordering books online. And I think I had also wanted to be a lot more intentional with my book buying and not buy so many books that were unvetted. And by that, I mean, like, if it's a brand new author, I want to try maybe a book from the library first and see if I like that author's writing style, and then be more open to just like buying books from their backlist or new books that come out, or, you know, whatever. That is, I don't want to say a failure, but that is a missed opportunity to make different choices. And while, like, overall, I think I spend a lot less money just mindlessly shopping than I did even like 3, 4, 5 months ago. And that's something I'm really proud of. I seem to just continue to give myself a pass when it comes to books. And I don't mind buying books. It's just, again, it's the volume. It's the buying them faster than I can read them. It puts pressure on me. I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with it. People can do whatever they want to do. I think I made that quite clear before, that, like, judgment-wise, this is not meant to pass judgment on anyone else. This is a very specific to me series of videos. And I think having so many unread books does put pressure on me. I'm putting pressure on myself. I do understand that. So it's just something to be aware of, and I have not been very mindful in my book shopping. So that has led to DNFs, getting rid of books, you know, unhauling some books, and I don't want to get caught in that cycle of, oh, you unhauled 50 books, let's bring in 20 more kind of thing. So just trying to bring myself back to that state of mindful shopping when I am buying books, and moving away from buying books online, just going back to that wish list format that I had before of, it looks good, it sounds good, you know, put it on a list and let's see if the library has it. Or, you know, maybe next time you're out, read the first chapter if you see it in person, that kind of thing. So I'm also going to be reducing stress in that I will no longer be requesting ALCs or ARCs from NetGalley. I'm going to sit that out. I think I'm going to give myself a time frame of like the rest of the year. So it is, I think we're still in the beginning kind of October. We're still in the first week of October, the first 7 days of October. So I finished the ALCs that I had. I have given reviews for everything that I had that is releasing this year. So I've given feedback. I have 2 ARCs that I think they both come out like March 26th or something like that. So I have those 2 that I'm not going to read them and review them until 2026 anyway. I have those 2, and then I'm just not going to request anything else. I think I do have some outstanding requests. If I get them, I get them, but I'm not going to be putting in any new requests this calendar year. I will reevaluate that in January and kind of go from there, see how I feel. But I did notice that the ALCs, the ARCs were starting to add stress, a little bit of stress onto me. And I really don't need any more pressure for reading. I have given myself quite a lot of that as you can see. I also have not been very good about my crafting or hobby stacking with audiobooks. And I will say one reason for that is I've been struggling with audiobooks. I've been struggling to connect when I am doing audio only. Struggling to connect and focus, I would say, with audio only. I can do it in the car a little bit, but I've noticed it's not working for me right now. And I'm really hoping it's just a phase, but if I'm going to do audio, it has to be immersive, or I've noticed like driving is okay. But I still sometimes have to go back that I missed something and I have to go back and be like, wait, what just happened? So that has taken a hit on the hobby train too, because I'm not picking up stuff to do while I'm listening to a book. I'm physically reading my books. So, I don't have free hands or free eyes to put on those hobbies. So I know I've fallen short on a few of the intentions I had from previous videos, and the thought is like, okay, you can say you're going to be better about them, but how are you going to do that? I already mentioned with the ordering books online that I'm going to go back to my wish list system, keeping a list in my phone. And I do keep a list on Amazon of TBR books, and I often go through that list and purge stuff that I added in the moment, where usually like an Instagram ad gets me and I'm like, oh my God, that sounds so good. Add to list. And I'll go back through and I'll review some of those books sometimes and be like, this does not sound like anything I would even like. Why did I add this? So I think just regularly keeping an eye on those sorts of things and putting them on a list before you buy them is a great way to be more intentional about what you're buying, because like I just mentioned, it might sound good in the moment, but long term, after thinking about it a little bit, that's not even your taste in books. Why are you picking this up? Something else I've been wanting to do that I thought would actually be perfect to include in this video is something I saw on Fable in the app, and it was speed dating your TBR. The idea is that you take books from your TBR. I think you read the back. Does it still sound interesting to you? Which I've done in one of the other parts of this series, but after you determine that it still sounds good to you, you read like the first chapter, or maybe the first 5 or 10 pages, and determine if it really is something that you want to keep, if it's holding your interest, and if it still calls to you. So I thought that would be really fun, and it just kind of builds on what I've already done when I went through all of my books. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to do that again. However, I think this will be a more fun way to do it, and I can break it up a little bit. So I think my idea will be between 5 and 10 books at a time that I'm going to do that with. And there might not even be that many. Like I might not have to do multiple rounds, but I do think it would be interesting to do it with some of the older books on my TBR. That's kind of what I was thinking. I have a few in mind. And so I might just pull everything that sounds right and then decide how to break it up. I do not want to even fake start 20 books at once or something. But I do really like the concept and the idea behind this gamifying your TBR type thing. It did sound like something that I could do, where other TBR games have not worked for me in the past. So I don't have time to do that this afternoon, unfortunately, but I think over the next several days, I will start just like pulling books out and then putting them 5 or 6 here and there and doing them as the next part of this video. We'll see how many there are. I mean, we might just be doing this once. We might do a couple of rounds, but I thought that would be so much fun to do here with you. So that is where we are today. Now, I'm going to be filming this video over the course of several days. It could be a week, could be 2 weeks. I really don't know where this one is going to go. Just like the others, I don't know where we're going on this journey. I think I'm going to leave it here for now. And when I see you again, I will have a few books for that TBR speed dating that sounds like such a good time. Hey, I'm back with my blind date, speed date, whatever it was, those books. I think it was speed dating, my TBR. So I picked some of my oldest or longest standing books that have been on the TBR, and some that I just don't have a fire within me to read right now. I look around at my TBR a lot. I'm like, oh, I want to read that. Oh, I want to read that. These didn't evoke that same feeling in me. So that's why I picked these 7. I think what I'm going to do is show them to you, read the back, tell you what they're about, and then maybe read the first chapter and let you know if I'm going to keep it or ditch it. And yeah, that's really all I can think to do. So let's just jump right in. The first one is Magic Hour by Kristen Hanna. I'm laughing because I don't think I want to read any Kristen Hanna books. I don't know why I own this. I don't think I am the person for Kristen Hanna books. I don't want to be emotionally ruined by these books, and that's what everybody says. And if I don't know that it's going to emotionally ruin me, I could read the book. But if I go in knowing that that's kind of her thing, it makes me very hesitant. So let me read the back real quick and then I'll tell you what this one's about. I do think it's about a boy who emerges from the Olympic National Forest and he doesn't talk. But let me read the back real quick and see if I'm right. Okay, I was kind of right. It's a 6-year-old little girl who emerges from the Olympic National Forest. She does not speak. She's probably been through it if she was out there in the forest by herself. Then we have Julie, who is kind of, I don't know, it seems like she had to leave her previous job because of a scandal. And she was a psychiatrist, a child psychiatrist. And she, along with her estranged sister, who's an ex-cop, work together to try and get this little girl's story and figure out what happened to her, solve the crime. I don't know what the crime is, unless it's just like child abandonment. I'm gonna be really honest. From reading the back, I'm already not super interested. Well, let me read the first chapter so I'm not such a hypocrite and so I'm not such a jerk. And then I will decide to not keep this book, probably. I hate to know myself so well. I wish I had known myself better when I bought this. No, this is not for me. This is not remotely for me. So that's one down. Book 2 is Her Majesty's Royal Coven. I don't feel like I want to get rid of this. I've just had it for a really long time, and I think I need to reignite that spark that it gave me when I first bought it. So let me read and tell you what it's about. Okay, so this book centers Helena. She is one of 4 young women who decide to join Her Majesty's Royal Coven, which was initially established by Elizabeth I as like a covert government agency of witches. And years later, there's like a civil war. Helena kind of comes out on top as the leader of Her Majesty's Royal Coven, but she has lost her 3 friends in the process. One is a housewife, one has become like a country vet, and the other one, most disturbingly to Helena, has defected and started sort of like a rival coven, I guess. And then there's a newcomer into the mix, a male warlock who seems to shake things up and could alter the hierarchy of all of these things and maybe make Her Majesty's Royal Coven a thing of the past forever. I don't know. I do think it still sounds interesting. So I'm going to keep this and maybe try and move it up on my priority list. I will read the first chapter just to see if it grips me or if maybe the back fooled me. Sorry if you can hear some sirens right now, and it's actually getting dark really, really, really rapidly, but I am going to keep this. I read sort of the 25 years before, and then the first 2 chapters, and then I realized like, oh wait, okay, I need to wrap it up. So I'm definitely going to keep this one. I don't know how soon I'll read it, but maybe it will be my next read. I don't know. I definitely think this is for me. All right, it is getting dark, so I might try and do just like 1 or 2 more. Unfortunately, the next one is the biggest chunk here, and that is Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I have had this for a while. This is the indie published one. I think it's been traditionally published now, but this is like the This thing is a friggin' brick. Bright white paper. Yeah, I don't know. And of course, because there is nothing to read on the back, I don't know. I don't even know what this is about. I got caught up in the hype. I really did get caught up in the hype. I don't know precisely what this is about. Well, there's a map. Of course there is, because it's quite certain it's a romantasy. It says, for those who live in their nightmares so that others may have their dreams. Never forget, monsters thrive best in the dark. Commit all you read here to memory. Prepare for war. And then there's a pronunciation guide. There's no synopsis at all. Crap. Is chapter 1 going to be like 18 pages? No, it is not 18 pages. Let me read it real quick. I'm kind of intrigued, and I kind of thought that I wouldn't be. So I think maybe I'm going to keep this and also maybe talk to Kat about it and see what she thinks, because I do think she has read this before and I think she liked it. And I think there's like more of these coming or something. I don't know. I just hesitate to get caught up in these romantasy series that are very much unfinished, but I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna keep it. Okay, I had to move a little bit because I have completely lost the outside light and all I have is the overhead, so it's a little crappy. But next up, All of Us Villains. I don't have a good feeling about this one because I think this is about a teen who's put into a secret tournament to the death. To like claim magic. I don't know. I'm just gonna read the first chapter and see what happens. I don't like YA. I don't like fantasy tournaments. So again, why did I buy this freaking book? Join me while I read the first chapter. Okay, I read like the first 8 pages, I think. I couldn't make it the whole first chapter. I'm not really interested. And I hate that I went into it with that attitude, but I don't know, I felt like I already knew, and I don't know what appealed to me about this book in the first place. I don't even remember buying it, which is kind of tragic. Like, come on, Meg, come on. No, this is a no for me. I'm so sorry. Bye. All right, so far we're at 2 no's, 2 yeses. Book number 5 is City of the Beast by Isabel Allende. I think this is the first book in a series. I also think this is YA. Again, I do think some of the ones that I am not so certain about were recommendations at Barnes & Noble. So maybe that's it, but let me read the back of this and refresh what the book is even about. Oh yeah, okay, so like this is about a kid who has the opportunity to go to the Amazon with his grandmother, who is she a photographer? No, she's a magazine reporter for like an international magazine, and they're hunting for the elusive Yeti. I don't know. I think there's another young girl on the trip, or someone like about his age, and he like discovers maybe some magic or something, like the jaguar is his totem. I don't know. And he draws power from it. So I'm thinking yes to this. I am going to crack open the first chapter and just read a few pages and see what I think. Three pages in, yes, definitely yes. And now I'm like, okay, I need to read this one soon as well. All right, I'm gonna leave it with those 5 books for now. I think that might be enough for this video. So I'm gonna keep 3. I'm gonna let 2 of them go to my local little free library, as I do with all of the books that leave this home. And maybe keep the other 2 for another time, maybe a different video, maybe a different day, maybe it doesn't get filmed. I don't know. But I think that was really fun, and I would definitely do it again. Great way to kind of fall back in love with some of the books you picked up, or maybe realize that books you have no longer serve you. Next up, I think I'm going to be reorganizing some of my shelves, and I will be bringing you along for that as well. All right, there is one more thing I really wanted to accomplish in this video, and that is to reorganize the shelves. Not everything will move, but a large bulk of the collection of the shelves will be moving, and that is a big undertaking. Am I going to do it tonight? Probably not. It is Halloween. Elot is traveling for work. I think it's like 7 o'clock. I just want to be cozy and read Slewfoot, but I also really want to get this project underway. I've been thinking about it for a while. I'm really excited about what I want to do. And I think the first step is to show you where everything sits right now and what my plan is. And once we've established that, I can really start moving things around here and there. So with that being said, I'm going to turn the camera around and show you what we've got. This is the overview. It's a little difficult to get everything in frame, but here we are. And I haven't picked anything up. I obviously have some mess that has not been organized, so everything is just as it is. I haven't prepped this room. I haven't done anything to make it look nicer. This is just it. It's a little bit of a mess. So very basic overview. This shelf here is all romance, with the exception of this shelf. This is about desk height, as you can see. And this tends to be my overflow shelf. My water bottle sits here usually. And then these books right now are what's left of my fall TBR and my spooky season TBR. So those I've just been pulling from that shelf for this season. I really enjoy having this shelf open for whatever I want to put there at any given time. There's more romance here, and then the bottom shelf is empty. There are a couple of things down here that just need to go somewhere else. That's kind of a theme. Next up, we have mystery thriller, the beginning of sci-fi, more sci-fi, horror, my cactus that needs a new pot. This is an empty shelf. It's just catching things right now, but it should be empty. This is literary fiction. And again, something that needs to move. In the middle shelf at the very top, we have middle grade and children's books. Moving down, there are graphic novels. This is just decorative, bookmarks, things like that. With the Mermaid is the beginning of translated fiction, and then that continues on. The last two shelves are all my nonfiction. Next, here at the very top, we have all my Harry Potter. I didn't end up getting rid of anything, so it's pretty full. From there, we have fantasy, fantasy, fantasy. This is incoming, so I don't think I've done a haul since August. So everything September and October is here. Pre-orders, things that I bought, they're all there for my next haul. If I read them before I haul them, they will come off the shelf, and I'll discuss them at that time. The bottom two shelves are technically empty. I mean, I have a Jellycat, and I have at the very bottom, that is a Christmas tree like candy dish that I got at the Target bullseye spot, whatever. It was $5. I really like it, and I think it's going to be perfect on the shelves for the season. Okay, I'm going to move over a little bit for this final shelf. Everything on this shelf is TBR. And then this here is a drawing from my niece Isla. It's a mermaid. I love it. Let's move to the rest of the TBR. Here lies the rest of the TBR. As you can see, it's quite open, as with this shelf. Also really quite spacious. There is room here. There's a good bit of room there. Every shelf has some openings. Everything was alphabetized. I do have my translated TBR here and my series here. I had started a cozy fantasy section, but then I kept reading all of those books and the section got very tiny. The very bottom shelf is kind of like winter TBR and then some family recipe books for like a project that we're doing. That stuff can and will move. With all of that in mind, what I'm thinking is taking all of this TBR here on those shelves and combining everything into one shelf here. I think I can do it without issue. And I do think that perhaps the incoming, all of these, the sort of new acquisition books, either need to sit here at the very bottom, say hello to the dogs, and the cords that are still here, and the little heater. I think they can all fit down there. Otherwise, they will go onto a different shelf. So to grab a little more detail, these are what the romance shelves look like right now. This, as I said, is my shelf. for whatever I want to put there. More romance. And then this is my beautiful step stool that Elad gave me for my birthday. I'm obsessed with it. It folds up. It's very well made. Heavy duty. Last read, current read, next read. And then, again, just some stuff. I'm sorry it's really dark, but it's really dark outside. So this is just stuff that kind of needs to find a new home anyway. And then again here, this also needs to find a home. When I was at Pike, they were giving these away. Where's his face? And I was like, no, I really don't need one. And they just kept insisting. So I just took it, but it's fine. Like, you could turn it around and nobody would ever know, and it could sit outside any time of year and be fine. But it doesn't belong here. Also, the dog's harnesses do not belong here. I think they came home from the in-laws and they had their harnesses on, and I just took them off up here, and they never went where they were supposed to go. So I'm going to move this for now so it's not in our way. My idea, do you see? Oh, I have to show you this. Okay, I have a little bit of a jelly cat problem. This is Skeleton Bob. I love him. And then this is the peach. I mean, it's Georgia. And look, it has the little crack, I call it. This is the Pegasus. And this is not a jelly cat. This was just a gift. It's a dragon. This, I think, was my very first jelly cat. And it is, in fact, a boiled egg. And I love it. I know I'm 36 years old, but I just think they're so cute. I really want the farfalle pasta bow tie, whatever you pronounce it. And I can't find it. So anyhow, also, this needs to go somewhere. The story behind this is that our favorite barbecue restaurant has one of these at checkout, and it's one of my favorite, like, nostalgic old-time restaurant things. And I said to Elad recently, we were there last weekend, like, wouldn't it be so cool if I had one of those for my bookshelf? And I'll just put like a smiley face or something for how much it cost. But wouldn't it be cool to have it on my bookshelf? And he was like, yeah, absolutely, you got to find one of those. We found it at Sam's Club. It was not very expensive, and so I bought it, and I want it to go, I think, over here is my idea. But I need to move things first. So if all of this can move, which I think it will, I think it can just go over here, and that'll be great. Then my plan from there, because romance is really taking over, I think I want to move it here because I need more flexibility on this set of shelves. So if I put romance here, it can really take over. There's not a lot inhibiting its growth or movement here. That means everything on this shelf, sort of the literary fiction, will move right over, and then it'll have another row if it needs it. Horror will move right over. Mystery, thriller, move right over. If it needs to grow, it can grow with the sci-fi. Horror, if it needs to grow, I'm not 100% sure, but there are other places it could go if it grows exponentially and I can no longer fit it on one single shelf, because I do have this guy. But obviously, like, I love this. All of the plants and things can move. Like, that would be fine. They can move. They can also, like, my pothos is sitting in front of some books. If you can see them back there, I just sort of push them back. So this could sit in front of it. And it's fine. I mean, this is going off the rails, but I do kind of want to get some of those things that you can put on the wall that a planter could sit on. And then I love this, but IKEA has a sort of ladder design one with 3 layers, which I think would be great. This is also very awesome. One of my favorites. So just like lots of ideas. The next thing is that up here is the middle grade children's. I'm just going to take that right the way across. Harry Potter's going to stay where it is because it all actually fits quite well there. So we'll just leave that. And then it kind of fits in with the middle grade and the children's, like just all the way across. And I have graphic novels. I don't see that growing quickly or outgrowing the space anytime soon. If it does, like, we can address what sits here. Translated fictions should live just fine in this area. Again, if I feel I need the extra space, I have more space here for one, and the mermaid can go this way. Also, these sort of decorative things can go. This is that book mug that my dad gave me, and I put one of these flameless tea lights in it. I think it's so fun. And then this is like a vintage pen or pencil holder, but it's a black cat, and I love her. It's like BB. So that's that. I'm gonna turn it off so I don't forget. And then all of the nonfiction, what I'm thinking, say graphic novels gets out of control, and I really wanna leave this alone. This is just like bookmarks. I've shown you what's in here before. The guy who pierced my ears actually drew this with a pen, and then he used like a mild liner for that wedge color. I'm obsessed. I wish he would keep making these because I have a few, but I haven't seen him post about them in so long, like years. And then this is kind of my favorite candle, the Voluspa Goji Tarocca Orange. It smells very wonderful. So if these grow and I really need extra space, I could technically move them here and then have these last three for translated fiction, because I'd like my nonfiction to go on this shelf and then across to there, which means for fantasy, I would like fantasy to stay here, but then go across instead of coming down immediately, like having that extra space going across. The incoming, I already said, will probably move. And then I have these basically two empty shelves here. Empty, empty, which, you know, like I said, romance is coming over here. So that will fill up. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking for now. I may change my mind. I may have different ideas, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. Take all of my romance, move it here. All of this, move it here. Keep this mostly the same. All of the TBR comes to this other shelf, and fantasy sort of bleeds over. The middle grade and children's books bleeds over, and then all the nonfiction on the very bottom. So I think the first step for sanity's sake is going to be to move all of my TBR that is here on the other side of fantasy to the shelf just opposite me on the other wall. Okay, so this was sort of the start of the TBR. Alphabetically, we have the A's and everything. There's also a translated book up there. It's not even with the translated TBR. Yeah, I think we're just gonna shove everything together. So then alphabetical from here, da 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 da, moves over, alphabetized, 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 and then translated, and then series. I'm fine with the series. They're double stacked. Like, I don't care what happens there. And then this was more planning phases for winter. This, I think I mentioned, is some recipe planning books for like a family book we're gonna do. And that just needs to move anyway, probably to like the my shelf. That's where it sits. I mean, should I just move all the TBR stuff tonight? I'm not particularly hungry or anything for dinner, so maybe I could just put on some music or something and move all that right now? I don't know. Yeah, maybe let's do it. Okay, so something cut off at some point, I think, and I didn't finish filming like the finished product or me getting everything on the shelf, but I did manage to get everything on that shelf. So I'm going to show you that quickly and some of the other progress that I made so far, and this is probably going to be it for tonight. So here is everything on one shelf. As you can see, I did have to do like some stacking in here. I did some creative stacking this way, which I don't like the difference, but it does fit more books that way. So that's what we have. The plant is back. I feel like this plant is a little unhappy. The reason I wanted it is that the tag said super durable. Like, it's beautiful, right? But then also it's still on here. Super durable. But I feel like it's not super happy. So any recommendations? You can see where it gets the light from. Like, there's nothing going on back here. This is definitely the front. But I don't know. There is some new growth, so it can't be doing that bad. I mean, maybe it's killing off some of the older stuff for the new growth. I have heard that happens. Anyway, that's not what we're here for. Ay, look at that. I wanted to keep like authors together, so I kept all the Neil Gaiman together instead of splitting it between shelves. The third Emily Wilde book is coming next month, the Barnes & Noble special edition, and then there is kind of the look of fantasy. I have not moved. I had to move the dogs to get over here. I have not moved the nonfiction. I might do that. Ooh, I don't know. That's where my winter TBR ended up. So I moved this here. I'm going to let Elot open this when he gets home. He wanted to open it today to like give me one while I was working. And for some reason I was like, no, don't open it yet. I don't know where I want to put it. There's no reason that it couldn't be opened if I was going to move it around. So I'm going to wait for him to get home and let him pop this open. It pops here, and it's like a little tray for you to grab them out of if you're not familiar with how bulk candy works. Yeah, so I think maybe I'll move those nonfiction. And then why are these over here? I don't know. I get in these moods and I just make like little piles, and I don't know. It probably should just go on TBR stuff, but where? There is really not a lot of room. Oh God. This really concentrates the mind on reading through these books, because it really isn't only that. If it was only that, that's kind of overwhelming enough, right? But it's also this, and it's also this, and it's also that. I am feeling a little overwhelmed, but it is fun to move them around. Yeah, let's see. I don't want to move the dogs again, but I don't think I'm going to be sleeping tonight. I already freaked myself out earlier. I thought I would listen to the audiobook of Slewfoot to try and read it quicker while I did other things, because I cannot sit still tonight. It's too quiet. It's too empty. Anyway, I freaked myself out. So that's a good endorsement for Slewfoot, I guess, as a little horror. But yeah, okay, let me do that, and then I'll show you again. Okay, slightly anticlimactic, but there they all are together. There's Oliver. There's Renault. He loves to tuck his nose in wherever he is. Oh, no, not interested. Hello. Isn't he gorgeous? He's getting a little old man white face. Anyway, that's it for tonight. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep, because I did scare myself pretty good. And then tomorrow I have so much to do. Sunday I have so much to do. So yeah, let's try to sleep tonight. That's going to be my main goal. Bye. Good night. I'm back. It's been many days again. For you, probably no time, but I don't even remember the last clip I filmed. I do think today is going to be the day that I finish this, that I move all this. Some things have gotten a little messier over here. I'm not going to lie to you. But I think the last thing I showed maybe was moving the nonfiction and then getting the like fantasy over. And then this stuff will move with this shift, I believe. So let's count this as the before shot. I don't think I'll do a time lapse here, because I'm just going to come and go at it. I think first step is to take everything off as usual, and then slowly start putting things back how I feel. I've already had ideas about doing something a little different, perhaps putting horror over here with the fantasy. I'm not sure. So we'll just get after it and see how it all shakes out. But I'm excited. I'm excited to get it moving. Hey guys, just a quick update. I am actually also using my new gimbal, so I might have some trouble like moving things around and understanding how it moves right now. But we are trying. We're going for stability in camera, not in mind. Up here, I have moved already the Genfic, so that's these two. And then here I have mystery thrillers. This shelf sort of like continues the mystery thrillers, and then we have a lot of room for expansion. I did leave my me shelf here, which is a tip. This is incoming now. And then that shelf still needs to be cleared off. Like, please, like I said, we're very in progress, but I wanted to show you something. And I figured I'd just give an update on what I've done so far. Horror ended up here. I don't know if I love it. I think there's enough space here. And then, let me see if I can move you smoothly. And then we can put some there as it expands. But I'm just finding that my biggest categories are actually romance and fantasy. So I don't know. I'm good, but I don't know. I'm not like super thrilled with how everything is shaking out. So I don't know how long it's going to stay this way or if it'll stay this way. So coming up, this is all romance. As you can see, I did keep oops, wrong way. I did keep the children's up top as discussed, and then graphic novels, stuff, translations, more room for translations, just on this one. There's also like decor and stuff that's gonna, I don't know, maybe shuffle, maybe not. The Yorks are still not open. I'm gonna have Elot open that, I swear. And then we have some emptiness, but this, okay, I did move this too. Let me show you that. This is all the sci-fi, and then it can come over into here. I just wanted all of the Murderbot to be together. Language, nonfiction, dinosaur nonfiction, other nonfiction, that kind of stayed. And then this is what I wanted to show you. A few months ago, I got these, I think they're called Damp Rid moisture packs. So they're supposed to absorb moisture, and they don't start out looking like this. When the new ones come, I'll show you what they start out looking like, but this is horrifying. I had 3 in here. I found this one today and I was like, oh dear heaven. So it starts out with this hard, I don't know if you can really see what's going on in there. Anyway, it's a lot of water. And when you get to the fill line, you are supposed to discard it. Can you see that? How about some light? That's so much moisture. I'm genuinely horrified. So there's that one. I have, hold on, Gimbal in Training. I have this one, which is not quite full, but still at a horrifying level, very close to the line. And then, come on, McKillop, just stay. Where's the other? Here it is. Okay, we're losing a Quinn. Oh my stars. That's on the line. That one's got to go. That one's got to go too. So I did go to the accursed Amazon. Also, like, how are you supposed to get rid of these? How do I dispose of these? Oh dear. I did go to the Amazon in a blind panic to pick up more of them because they could be here today. That's what we're looking like. I have a whole empty shelf. Can you believe that? Well, a few empty shelves. That will be empty. Yeah, it's coming along pretty well. I'm just really not sure that things are going to stay this way, and that makes me a little panicky. I don't know what I want. Are you surprised? I will come back when everything is sort of sorted, and maybe I'll feel better about it once everything is in its rightful place. But for now, like, is that not the most horrifying thing for your books? And all this time that I didn't have any moisture absorption. Oh, my dear. Okay, I forgot something, and the lighting is terrible, but this came today. Oh, dear. Oh, boy. So, oh, and there's another. So what could this Jellycat be, you may ask? Let's open it. Can we do a surprise reveal? No, probably not. Hold on. Are you ready? Ah, that was amazing. Amazing. So here she is, the croissant. Where will she live? I kind of feel like she should live in romance, but we're going to have to push some people back past the guide. Oh my God, it's so adorable. So on my wish list, this is the thing. We talked about like shopping and, you know, making wish lists and waiting and thinking about things. So I do have actually pathetically a Jellycat wish list. So you saw my peach. The first thing on my wish list really was the farfalle, the pasta. but I can never find it when it's in stock. After that was the egg. And I got myself the egg for my birthday. I bought it myself for my birthday. I'm obsessed with the boiled egg. The peach, the pickle, the pasta, and the croissant were also all on my list. I really want the cherry too, but I haven't added it to the wish list yet because I'm like, girl, you do not need these toys. But I got the peach when it came back in stock, and I actually got one for my mom too because Georgia, Peach State, like, I don't know, it's just, oh, she's cute. So the croissant was a wish list item, and I knew that when it came back in stock, I wanted to get it. I don't think that these, in the grand scheme of things, are very expensive. And please pray for me that I don't develop a knack for collecting them. Okay, I finally remembered to ask Elu to open this for me, but I think we got a defective box because the arm didn't come out on the right side, left side. Is this the front of the box? I don't know. But it's missing an arm. Apologies in advance for the lighting. It's very late, but the new ones have come. And I ordered a 6-pack, but I wanted you to see that this is how it starts out in these little pebbles. And then to show you, I have one that I haven't thrown away yet, which is this one. That's what it becomes. So these are like a solid mass now. I understand that the moisture comes through like the paper backing, but I don't understand how it goes from this to this. Like, it's so troubling to me that there's that much moisture. I know I have a lot of plants in here, but good grief. That's wild. Y'all, I realized as I was editing this video that there was no conclusion. I had not filmed any sort of ending or goodbye or a final thoughts, not Jerry Springer style, but you know, as I've done in previous iterations of videos in this series, I wanted to give you kind of a mindset where I am now, what my plan is going forward. And as always, not sure if I'll be making more videos in this series. I probably will. It seems like a foregone conclusion that I just sort of every now and then have the urge to make these. But I wanted to touch on the high points, the wish list situation that I discussed in the beginning of this video. I have been keeping a wish list in my phone and on paper. I like the idea of crossing things out on paper. You should know that by now. And it's been really successful with the books. It's been successful overall since I started this kind of back in July, the deleting Amazon from my phone, that sort of progression into thoughtful spending and like thoughtful buying, I guess would be the right term. So while it didn't stick for books, I have found over the past month, I started this video over a month ago, which is crazy, but I have found that that is also working. So instead of ordering books online, I have been making a wish list. I also have an adventure day coming up with my mom next week. And so I have a little list of books to be on the lookout for. And if I see those books, I can get them then. We were actually together a few days ago and I saw a book that I have been wanting and it's in paperback now. And I almost picked it up on a whim. And I thought, no, we're going out together. That's going to be a day where we are actually actively shopping for books and other things. Like, we're just going to have a good time. So if I see it then, I'll get it. I'm trying to build that anticipation and build that, like, it's a special occasion to buy books, not just buying them on a whim. I think I have made it such a normal part of day-to-day. If I'm in Target, like, yeah, let's go pick up a book. Even if I'm like in Walmart, yeah, I'll pick up a book in Walmart if I see one that I've been wanting. So I'm trying to make it more of a special occasion and let that anticipation build. And I have actually found sometimes that book comes available from the library. And there have been a couple of occasions where I'm like, wow, I'm kind of glad I did not purchase this. So that is working really well. I think I also talked about crafts, like my cross-stitching, needlework type stuff. I've really sort of fallen off of the cross-stitch embroidery, even puzzles. None of it has really interested me. And I think part of that is because October is such a heavy work month. That killed the part of my brain that would just sit and enjoy a kind of mindless task like cross-stitching or embroidery, something that I could just sort of lose myself in. So I'm hoping that that desire will come back to me over the holiday season, over the slower months as we move from fall into winter over the next few weeks. And I'm hoping that like that spark will reignite for the crafts. But right now it's not something that I'm being drawn to, so it's not something I am forcing or focusing on heavily. I am enjoying the shuffle that I did on my shelves, the movement, and I'm very, very happy to have all of my TBR, well, most of my TBR in one place. I do still have my me shelf, I want to read that next, and then my incoming shelf. So those two shelves are technically TBR books that do not live with the other books on that shelf that I showed you, but it feels good to have everything in one place, and then for the shelves behind me to really grow and not have to move anything out of their way, if that makes sense. So that's kind of where I sit. I hope you enjoyed seeing the little game I played with the speed dating. I did enjoy that, and I think I'll use that going forward in the future. I just don't have anything that really fits that need right now. I really enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed it too. I hope you enjoyed seeing the before, during, and after of my bookshelf, my true bookshelf shuffle this time, and just the thought process behind how I'm going to move forward. Once again, hopefully it'll stick this time, of not purchasing books online, going back to my wish list system. I really do like that. There's something about the anticipation that I think a lot of people don't sit in anymore. There's a lot of instant gratification, and I kind of like the idea of getting away from that. Everything is too easy these days. So why not add back a little bit of anticipation, a little bit of want, a little bit of yearning, saving up. I have added a wish list category to my budget, so I can put money aside into my wish list items. And then if there's a really good sale on something I've been wanting, or like with the jelly cats, can you see her there? My croissant. Something like that comes back in stock. I don't think like, oh, well, I didn't really set aside for it because I didn't know when it was going to come. I have like a little category for myself, so that's been really fun too. And just, moving forward, really evaluating my goals for myself and putting action behind that. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this installment of the series, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.